Genuine question. Did Francis Ngannou beat the heavyweight champion of the world in Saudi Arabia on his professional debut? And had you scored that fight using unified rules, i.e. damage, duration, dominance, Francis Ngannou wins that fight. Now, of course, we don't use those rules in boxing. We use...
make up the rules.
Depending on who the governing body is, because this is the problem with boxing. All 4 of the recognised world title governing bodies, WBO, IBF, WBA, WBC, have their own way of scoring fights. One of those, for instance...
They're all different?
They're all different.
Mate, it's mad.
The WBA, Mike, if you look at their how you score a fight regulations, one of the things they look for is defence. The WBA...
No. Even worse, sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
another one. Yeah, sportsmanship, yeah. If
You
shake
win a
hands
fight
together-
by being a good sport.
Yeah.
There you go.
Touch gloves. There's a point.
Yeah.
There's a point, son. There's a point.
WBA, oh, Mike, fucking hell, you just blocked that right hook. Brilliant. You won that round. Sorry. He blocked the shot, so he's... Do you know what I mean? So
No, but I've got a counter to that.
there's variations of how you score a fight by governing body, by state, by athletic commission, by what country you're in. How are these judges supposed to know? What scoring system are you using right now? It's fucking mental.
So that is clearly an inconsistency.
By design.
Oh, by design.
Of course it is.
Because when
leave it
bad
open to-
results go in, you go, yeah, but this judge likes this. This judge like that. Now in MMA, we have the unified set of rules.
so they can cloud
Bingo,
the corruption.
100%.
Bingo.
So you honestly, you two, as boxing aficionados,
Yes,
as
25
boxing
years.
experts,
I've covered boxing for 25 years and do to this day. And I love the sport. And by design, the scoring system is corrupt to allow situations like this to
so the
happen.
scoring system is corrupt.
Yes.
But do you firmly stand by and believe that the sport of boxing is, by the factual description of the word, corrupt, and powers are at play to corrupt the outcomes of fights?
100%.
Yes. Without a doubt.
Wow.
Without a doubt.
So
I've been covering it professionally since 1999.
So as fans and as experts on the sport,
It's heartbreaking.
Well, I was going to say, how does that make you
It's
feel?
heartbreaking.
How does that make you feel? But also, I don't know if you'd be willing to say, because I don't want you to expect to ostracize yourself.
Boxing.
But who would you point to?
Oh, there's more than one.
The industry as a whole.
Yeah.
The industry as a whole is set up like this. Like Tyson Fury fights Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia. It's part of an initial 2-fight deal which guarantees him $100 million. So $50 million for Francis Ngannou, $50 million for Usyk Part 1. Renegotiate your money for Usyk Part 2, which is already locked into the Part 1 deal. So he goes in there. Usyk's sitting ringside. You've got a date in December 23rd. Now that doesn't happen until the new year. You've got Francis Ngannou who's coming in, who's guaranteed, 8 million, 10 million, or whatever he is. The golden goose has been laid. So when that fight's close, you know there's no way Francis Ngannou, who in my opinion won the fight. I thought he won the fight. There's no way he's going to get it because everybody, including Alexander Usyk, everyone's there to go, right, this was just an introduction. The real stuff is coming next, and his next paycheck is tied to this. So why would Francis Ngannou come in and spoil that? So the sport is deliberately set up with all these variations on scoring systems, depending on what country you're in, what judges sitting ringside, what governing body is managing the fight. There's all these variations to allow it to cloud the system, to allow the conversation of going, wait a minute, was that score right? Well, yeah, the score's right because those 3 judges, they like what they like. Whereas we don't have that in unified. The unified rules are set down like the 10 Commandments. They're set in fucking stone. This is how you score a fight. And this is why when we have controversies in the UFC, within a week, Nevada State Athletic Commission, California State Athletic Commission will get those judges in, will release a statement saying, we had a conversation, we think we got it wrong, he agrees, moving forward, he's going to get better, blah, blah, blah. And we can accept that and go, okay, guy had a bad night. But we accept the fact that his scoring was wrong on that fight. In boxing, no one's ever held to task because that can't happen. Because that judge likes what he likes. He likes defensive boxing. Well, he likes aggressive boxing. He scores knockdowns. And it's by design. I truly believe it's by design.
So about the defensive thing, we'll go back to that in a minute because I have got a point on that I'd like to discuss. But and I think I know the answer to this. I was going to say to you, so do you think, given that you are convinced it's corrupt, given that a lot of people do speak about the corruption in boxing, and certainly it is a popular narrative that people speak about. And I follow your lead on this because you're far more embedded in that world than I am. And I know the answer is going to be a no. What I was going to say was, do you think the fighters know about this? Of course, they don't know because their egos won't allow them to accept that. But do you think it's like an ugly kind of convenience that some managers, coaches, and to a certain, maybe lesser degree, some of the fighters have maybe ever so slightly in the back of the mind? I mean, how prevalent in the consciousness do you think that is of people in the sport?
I've had conversations with fighters speaking about the potential of fighting X, Y, and Z. And the answer that has come back to me from those fighters is, yeah, I'll do that, but I'm not doing it in this destination, or I'm not doing it in this destination. And my answer then would be, why not? It's because I'm never going to get a decision here, or I'm never going to get a decision
now, okay.
It's like fighting.
I understand what you're saying there. You're saying, well, that sounds corrupt. But the flip side of that would be saying, like, for example, people say that when I beat Anderson Silva, it's because it was in England and the judges are on my side. Now, instantly, that's nonsense because the UFC appoint the judges and they're an international, largely for the most part, American. Mm-hmm. But that's what they would say. They say, well, the judges, they're local judges and all the rest of it, and they're going to be biased towards their fighters or their countrymen, or they're going to be influenced by the crowd. Just playing the devil's avocado game. That doesn't necessarily mean that they know that corruption is in place for a fact.
No, they're insinuating, but it's based off a body of evidence where, I don't know, a fellow countryman, a gym member or whatever has gone to XY destination. They've had a fight. It's quite clearly that they've won that particular fight, but they've not ended up with the decision. They've come away with a loss. So it's based on years and years and years and years of historical evidence where you're thinking away fighters go into this particular destination with this set of judges and not going to get their hand raised. There's age-old sayings in boxing. For example, there were a period of time during the noughties in Germany, you had to go out there and get a knockout for a draw. You know what I mean? You had to knock the dude out to get a draw. And with all due respect, Great Britain has become that place a little bit over the last 5 years or so. The
difference is as well, you're talking about an element here, whereas with the UFC, I think every fighter who signs with the UFC automatically thinks, UFC's got my back. I'm signed to them, they're paying my checks. So whether you're the fighter fighting in Britain or the fighter fighting in America, it doesn't matter. You think, I'm signed with the UFC just like he is. Okay, we've all got managers who've negotiated the deal, but we're all signed with the UFC. And we're all from the same organisation. So the opportunities that they're going to afford me are the same as the opportunities they afford him. Now, boxing is very different because there's multiple promoters. And chances are, if you're an international fighter fighting abroad, it's because you've got an opportunity on a card from a promoter based in that country. So not only are you potentially against the judges that are potentially with the home guy, but the promoter is the home guy's promoter. The TV network is the home guy's TV network. You are literally a foreigner in a strange land.